What's up, everyone? It's Tuesday morning here in Utah. Snowy morning. Woke up to some white stuff all over my lawn and all over my driveway, all over my truck. It's great. We haven't had snow in a while, so it's awesome to see the snow and to have it here. Hopefully, it sticks around for a little while. We need the moisture. But anyways, on this Tuesday morning, I decided to break out another podcast episode. It's been a minute. I don't think I recorded one last week. I just get caught up in the day, the life. People don't realize it. I'm running this WAC Hoops Digest without making any money right now. So, as much as I want to call it a full-time job, technically I have to take care of a 3-year-old and make sure my house is in order while my wife works. And if you need a refi for your house or you want to buy a house, hit me up because she's in the mortgage business. She can get you set up. Anyways, not promoting her, but anything. Anyways, she does great work, and I'm grateful for all she does. So news this week. I mean, obviously you saw it last night. New Mexico State finally took the floor again. It's been almost a month. Last time the Aggies took the floor was December 28th at Cal State Northridge, where they lost. Monday night they took on Western New Mexico. Pretty quick put together of a game. Played it in El Paso at the Haskins Center on the campus of their rival UTEP, which was great. It's great to see the Aggies back on the floor. Obviously, it started out slow. There was a lot of rust. Aggies didn't shoot it real well. Plus, they were missing a bunch of players. I mean, Jabari Rice, Clayton Henry, Donnie Tillman, Mayan Kier, Marcus Watson. The list goes on who they were missing. But the Aggies won 70-41. Obviously, it's what they should have done, to be honest with you, because Western New Mexico is a Division III team. But it's good for the Aggies to get back on the floor. Wilfred Lakai had a game-high 20 points. Evan Gilliard had 12 points. And newcomer Gerald Dokes, who just committed to the Aggies early in January and was immediately eligible when he got on campus, he had 11 points in his debut for the Aggies. Keep an eye on this freshman who I think could have a real big impact on the Aggies going forward. We'll see. Tarleton State also played on Monday night. Texans took on Howard Payne, another non-D1 opponent, and it wasn't even close, 60-point win. I mean, no offense, Tarleton State, I turned it off at halftime just because it just wasn't a game that really interested me, so I went and took my 3-year-old out to get ice cream and watch the new Dude Perfect stereotypes. So, Konstantin Datsenko had 25 points. Montre Gibson had 23 points. The duo combined to go 7 of 11 from beyond the three-point line. I mean, and they barely played like 25 minutes. So, I mean, they shot it well. We'll see what the Texans do this week. They go to Utah Valley this weekend for another 2-game WAC series. The one thing the Texans are missing is an inside presence. And if Fardaws Amac from Utah Valley is healthy, Utah Valley is going to dominate the paint this Friday and Saturday in Orem at the UCCU Center. Amac, as you know, went down on Saturday at St. John's with an ankle injury. I've been told that he is day-to-day, so we'll see if he's able to go. If not, Tim Fuller will have to step into that role. Evan Cole, the Georgia Tech transfer, will get an even bigger role. So keep an eye on that news. I'll have it for you when I find out more. I'm looking to talk to Mark Madsen this week about the game, as well as Billy Gillespie. We'll see what happens. Tarleton State still looking for their first WAC win. The Texans are 0-4. They got swept at California Baptist and at at home against Grand Canyon. Sorry, that was Dixie State who got swept at UTRGV. So my bad on that. But like I said, big question is, will Fardaws Amac play for Utah Valley this weekend? We'll see. And hopefully his ankle's getting better. Hopefully he'll be able to get back on the floor soon. I want to say he doesn't have to play for the Wolverines to have success this weekend because, like I said, Evan Cole is a monster down low, and this should expand his role if Amac is unable to go. Tim Fuller is another big body banger who can rebound and is physical. Maybe doesn't give the offensive presence that Amac has, but a very capable body. And like I said, Tarleton State doesn't have the depth in the paint. So, Utah Valley still has an advantage there. Other question, can California Baptist keep it rolling right now? The Lancers have won 4 straight since dropping those first 2 conference games at Utah Valley. They swept Tarleton State. They beat a D2 team on Wednesday, or a non-Division I team on Tuesday, excuse me. And then they smoked Long Beach State at the CBU Events Center on Saturday. Gorjak Gak, 26 points, 16 rebounds, earned WAC Player of the Week honors. The guy is a monster right now. He's averaging double-digit points and double-digit rebounds, second in the conference in rebounding behind Utah Valley's AMAC. But when this guy touches the ball, something happens. It doesn't matter if it's he scores or if somehow he kicks it out to one of the shooters. I mean, between Reed Nottage, Mark Carbone, Trey Armstrong, and Ty Roel, this California Baptist team is dangerous. I just think when they get rolling offensively, they can beat anybody, okay? People will think I'm crazy for saying that, but it's true. If you watch them on film or you watch the game this year, like against against Long Beach State, when they got rolling offensively, I believe it was late in this first half, and then it just rolled over into the second half. They couldn't be stopped. So keep an eye on the Lancers. Gorjak Gak should have another solid weekend. No offense to Dixie State. I mean, Hunter Schofield, Jared Green, big bodies, strong presence in the paint, but they just don't have that same athleticism that Gorjak Gak does. And I think Gorjak Gak gets the best of that matchup this weekend against the Trailblazers. One matchup I'm excited about in that series, Ty Roel against Cameron Gooden. Another point guard battle. We saw what Cameron Gooden did against Javon Blackshear Jr. this past weekend when Dixie State lost. Got swept by Grand Canyon. Great battle in the first game, obviously. Both Blackshear Jr. and Gooden going back and forth with buckets, keeping their team in the game. Blackshear Jr. got the best of it, hitting a fadeaway 3 with the shot clock running down that kind of sealed the deal for the Lopes in Game 1. Game 2, not so great for the Trailblazers. Obviously, GCU blew that one out, and Blackshear got the bragging rights, in that series. But point guard play will be key in this CBU Dixie State matchup, and it's I don't want to say a rivalry renewed, but it's a battle of 2 teams that came up in the same conference from the Division II ranks. So it'll be fun. It'll be another one of those battles between 2 teams that are very, very, very familiar with each other. Well, then what can we say? Grand Canyon, New Mexico State this weekend. Hopefully it plays out. We're going to knock on wood here that it plays out and that this series happens. I know the Aggies are in a really weird situation because they've been on pause for so long. They have injuries that they're dealing with. And so they haven't really gotten that consistency, that chemistry, that just I want to say their legs under them right now. So it'll be interesting to see how this series plays out. New Mexico State really has had GCU's number every year in the WAC. And so who knows if under new head coach Bryce Drew, Grand Canyon could get over that hump. There's potential there. Keep an eye on the paint as Bjorn Midgard, Alessandro Laver against Johnny McCants and Donnie Tillman. That'll be a fun battle to watch. I don't know if Donnie Tillman's going to be fully healthy or if he just missed Monday night's game for New Mexico State because of a coaching decision. It hasn't been made clear. I've been checking on Twitter and so forth, and nobody's made it clear exactly why he missed. So we'll see what happens in the paint. The guard line, I know New Mexico State fans might hate me for saying this, but right now GCU has the better, more experienced guard line. And Javon Blackshear, Oscar Freyer, Sean Miller-Moore, Mikey Dixon. If Jabari Rice and Clayton Henry were both in the lineup on this weekend and playing, I would give the advantage to New Mexico State, obviously. But I don't believe that's going to be the case. I think Christian said it last night in his presser that Jabari Rice is still out. He's had some hiccups in his rehab, so he's still out. And that's unfortunate because you'd love to see both teams at full strength going at each other. And It'll just be interesting to see what happens because Chris Jans is one of the best coaches in America. There's no denying that. Bryce Drew has done a tremendous job since coming and taking the head coaching job at GCU prior to this season. It'll be a fun series. Unfortunately, GCU Arena won't be full like it usually is for these games. I will be there, though, covering it, so pay attention to WAC Hoops Digest on Twitter. We'll be live tweeting and so forth and talking about this game a little bit more. These games, I should say, a little bit more. Let's break down the power rankings. People question them all the time. I know that some people disagree with them. I know that some people just don't like where their teams are. I get it. I'm not going to take anything away from that. Obviously, Grand Canyon at the top. People say, well, they beat the two newcomers. They beat, the easiest teams in the WAC, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me remind you. The last time a newcomer came into the WAC, what happened? Yes, CBU beat New Mexico State in the WAC opener for both teams. In CBU's first ever WAC game. So the fact that, one, GCU went on the road and swept Tarleton State. Then they went on the road and swept Dixie State. How can you not put them at the top? Come on, they've won 6 in a row. Give me a break. Anyways, that's why GCU is at the top. They have, right now, from all that we've seen, they kind of have the most well-rounded team, or well-balanced team. They have a big guy. They have a stretch 4 in Alessandro Lever. Their guard line is one of the best in the WAC. Javon Blacksher, Jr., Mikey Dixon, Oscar Freyer, Sean Miller-Moore, Jaden Stone, Chance McMillian. Plus, they have Gabe McLaughlin that comes off the bench who is averaging nearly double-digit in rebounds every game. So they're one of the more well-balanced teams. They're one of the deeper teams. And what Bryce Drew is doing is really solid for the Lopes. It'll be a battle. And that's, this weekend against New Mexico State. But that's why I have GCU at the top of the power rankings. Number 2, UTRGV. Obviously a little disappointment for the Vaqueros who had a positive COVID test, didn't get to play this weekend. They're actually off next weekend, too, before hosting GCU at Bird Ogden Arena on February 5th and 6th. But with Javon Levi, Jeff O'Cherry now in the lineup again, Sean Ray, I really like this UTRGV team to make some noise in the WAC and create some havoc because of the way that they play. They don't care who they play. They're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to play aggressive. Plain and simple. That's just who they are. So if you want to beat them, you're going to have to match that intensity. 3, Utah Valley. I mean, people say, well, Utah Valley's conference wins are better than Grand Canyon's. Sure, but 2 of them were at home. And one of them was in overtime, where they were trailing the whole game. I mean, I know Seattle's a tough place to play, but they were still trailing the whole game until until late in the game when it went back and forth. Until Trey Woodbury hit his, 3-pointer as time was expiring in overtime. Anyways, but no other team, I'll give credit to Utah Valley, no other team flew all the way across the country to play a non-conference game in the middle of conference season like Utah Valley did. They went to St. John's on Saturday. The majority of the first half, they were either leading or they were right there with the Johnnies. Then turnovers just are killer. 22 turnovers in the contest. Utah Valley loses by 18. It just, one of those games where Utah Valley look back and be like, man, if we would have taken care of the ball, this game would have been a whole lot different. But their 4 starters in Evan Cole, Trey Woodbury, Jamison Overton, and Faraz Amack, combining for almost 80 points a game between those 4. Okay? If Utah Valley gets some help from the bench or from a point guard, whether it's Jordan Brinson or Blaze Neal or Jaden McClanahan, watch out for the Wolverines because they can score. They can defend, and they have interior players that really dominate the paint. So watch out for the Wolverines if they can get some contributions from other people. That's all I'm going to say. People say, well, you're biased. No, I'm not. I just speak the truth. California Baptist at 4. Really like what the Lancers have done since they lost those 2 opening conference games to Utah Valley. Gorjak putting up some monster numbers. He's averaging 13.5 points and 10.6 rebounds per game right now. And the Lancers are one of the highest scoring teams in the WAC, if not the highest scoring team in the WAC, at 83.7 points per game. They can shoot it. They defend it at times. Sometimes they get lax, but they can shoot it with anybody. And if they get hot, watch out. Danger time. Seattle, number 5. Obviously, the second game against Utah Valley got canceled. Then they weren't able to play this week down in Stephenville, Texas at Tarleton State because of COVID. Hopefully the Redhawks get back on the floor soon. They're supposed to play Chicago State this weekend. Obviously, Chicago State suspended its season. So the Redhawks are off again unless they, schedule another game. 6 is New Mexico State. They're gonna get better. They're gonna move up in the rankings, obviously. But they're 6 just because they haven't played a lot. That's all. Nobody can really say anything other than that. They haven't played much. They had the win on Monday night in their first game since December 28th. So, be patient on the Aggies. They'll move up in these rankings, obviously. But right now they haven't played enough to move up ahead of these other teams. I put Dixie State and Tarleton State in a tie for 7th. Both are 0-4 in conference play. Dixie State was right there Friday night against GCU, couldn't finish it. Tarleton State was in the same boat against GCU in their first WAC game, but they couldn't finish it. And so it's just hard as newcomers. One of these weekends they're going to break through and get that first win. I don't know that it's going to come this weekend. Tarleton State, like I said, is at Utah Valley. Dixie State is at California Baptist. So we'll see. I just don't know if it's going to come this weekend. And then obviously at number 9 is Chicago State, suspended its season prior to conference play starting. It's just what it is. Can't fault the Cougars for choosing to do that. Still a lot of questions surrounding it, but Chicago State's on their way out. They'll be leaving the WAC June 2022 with all the new additions coming in. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at WAC Hoops Digest. Check out our Facebook page, WAC Hoops Digest, where we have an Instagram page. I haven't been very active on it because I'm trying to manage all these things. I have some new contributors that are going to help with more content, but share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your fellow fans, and let's get WAC Hoops Digest going. We're going to, like I said, we're going to be rebranding with the new additions that will be happening next year. So watch out for that. That'll be after the basketball season. But we're looking forward to it, looking forward to all these new opportunities, getting to meet new people and bringing new followers. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great Tuesday, and stay safe, everyone.